Hello everyone, this is Tom from Dirk Witte Music Store in Utrecht, the Netherlands. And today we are taking a look at the return of a very cool and very historic and classic Gibson solid body electric guitar model, the Les Paul Special, but not the single cut one because that one has been out for a number of years, but the double cut version. So there we go. The brand new, but not so brand new, as in that this is a very old model, Gibson Les Paul Special double cutaway. In this one being a TV yellow finish, also an incredibly classic and a very historic color or type of a finish, but we've got two of them. So we also got a black one. So a stark black one, body and neck. So a very classic model, like I said, historic, and the history of this being, first off, the Les Paul Special. What even is a Les Paul Special? Way back in the 1950s. I believe by 1955 you had like 4 Les Paul models. You had the obviously the original Les Paul, or by that time, by like the mid-50s, known as the Les Paul Standard, which was also like the very first Les Paul, introduced in 1952. Then over the next couple of years, they then came up with the Les Paul Custom, which was like a much more premium model of the Les Paul Standard. And then they came with the Les Paul Junior, which was, I believe, 53 or 54, which was a very bare bone like version of the Les Paul. With I am sure that you're all very much familiar with that model. That one just has one P90 in the bridge position, and yeah, just very bare bone, like nothing fancy at all. Then in 1955 they introduced this model, the Les Paul Special. But by that time it was a single cutaway body, so very much similar to this, or almost the same as this when it comes to the configuration, but a different body shape. But then by 1959 they then redesigned the body shape for the Les Paul Junior as well as for the Les Paul Special, which then turned out to be this, which we now know as the double cutaway Les Paul Special, or double cutaway Les Paul Junior in the case of the Junior. So yeah, very much historic, and then in production historically up until 1961. And yeah, they have been in and out of production for a number of times over the years, but it has been quite a while since they had this in the Gibson USA lineup, so outside of the Gibson custom shop, which we also have in store at the time of filming. Gibson custom shop Les Paul Special double cut in a very cool cherry red finish, but that being from the Gibson custom shop, a lot more pricey, whereas this one is from the Gibson USA line, so not as pricey, still also not very cheap, but very much more accessible than the one from the Gibson custom shop, and very accurate. Like you really get everything that you also got way back in 1959 or in 1960 when it comes to the specs. So a very faithful recreation of a very classic and very cool Gibson solid body electric guitar model, the double cut Les Paul Special. So let's go over the specs then, and let's then use the TV yellow one for that. So we have got a slab mahogany body, obviously in the double cutaway body shape. But what I mean by slab is that it does not feature a carved top by any sort, so no fancy flame maple that you would find on the Les Paul Standard, or even a carved mahogany top that you would find on the 1950s style of Gibson Les Paul Customs. So that is also how these were not as expensive way back in the day, and even still now they are not as expensive because they do not need to apply a separate maple top that then has to be carved into this nice dish carve. This is just a very simple slab of mahogany cut into a shape with some rounded corners, but nothing apart from that really. Obviously this one is done in a very classic looking TV yellow finish, so that is yeah, kind of like this translucent yellow, and that is very classic. You also found that on Les Paul Juniors from the 1950s. And the reason that it is called TV yellow is because this apparently on black and white TV would look white, because if they would have painted their guitars a real stark white color, it would be like overbearing for black and white TV and just way too bright. So apparently this formula for this color appears white on black and white TV. And yeah, that is kind of the backstory of that. We've got dual P90 pickups, so P90 Sobar pickups, Gibson USA P90s, which sound exactly as they should and as you would expect. Just total classic P90 tone. Before the humbucker you had the P90s, so you hear a P90 on a ton of records way back from the 1950s and way beyond. It is really the classic electric guitar pickup that really kind of like started it all way back already in the 1940s actually. We have also got kind of like a more simple bridge style. This is a wraparound bridge, and not just that, this is basically a stop tailpiece that you'd also find on a Gibson Les Paul Standard, but then used as your bridge and your tailpiece. So the strings then are then put in this way and then just wrapped around it and installed all the way. So that is how these are a little bit less premium historically than the Les Paul Standard, because by the mid-1950s the Les Paul Standard would get the tune-o-matic bridge configuration, which gives you more intonation possibilities. What is good to know though is that this is not just a tailpiece that you would find on a Les Paul Standard. You can still tilt the angle of the bridge slash tailpiece by via an Allen key over here, so that you can put the bridge at a slight angle just to get a little bit of better intonation. You also could do that on the all originals from the 1950s. But also this pretty cool multiply pickguard, also a very unique style and a unique shape that you only find on the Les Paul Special, or even on the double cut Les Paul Special. Got a 3A pickup selector switch for your dual P90 pickups, as well as 2 volume and 2 tone controls. And again, compared to the Les Paul Junior, this is definitely a like the next level, because you obviously then get 2 pickups instead of 1 on the Les Paul Junior. Input jack over here on the side, your strap buttons over here at the bottom, and here on your upper horn. Moving on to the neck, that is a mahogany neck, one-piece mahogany neck with a rosewood fingerboard. Fingerboard is bound, which is also then kind of like a step up from the Les Paul Junior, because that would not get binding around the fingerboard, which is your plain dot pearloid inlays. As for the profile, it's kind of yeah, pretty standard feeling neck, as in that feels like that there are definitely a number of Gibson models that have this neck profile, like in a good way, because this is really kind of like medium size, not too big, not too thin, a little bit of it's kind of like a C shape with a little bit of shoulder, so a little bit flat on the back. Overall it just feels really nice, it plays really well. Got the 12-inch fingerboard radius. Got your what appears to be a GraphTech nut, and then you've got your headstock with your logo done in mother of pearl Les Paul model silk screen, and your truss rod cover. And that logo in mother of pearl is also kind of like a premium over the silk screen logo that you would have found on the Les Paul Juniors from way back in the 50s. And then on the back, got your Clusen vintage style tuners with your or like Clusen style tuners with your plastic white tips, which are also very much accurate to this model. Last thing to mention, both obviously also come with a very nice hard shell case, so you really get the full package for this very cool and very classic historic model. So very cool to see this historic classic return to the USA lineup. Yeah, I really dig the Les Paul Special, especially the double cut Les Paul Special. Definitely prefer those over the single cut ones. They just look just a little bit cooler. I mean, both obviously are just fantastic in and by themselves, but this is really, yeah, They just look totally killer, very much rock and roll if you ask me. So yeah, really great guitars. Play and sound amazing as well, which is also important. So let's move on to that part and let's hear what they sound like. But first, if you're interested in either one of these Gibson double cutaway Les Paul specials, be sure to head over to the links in the description for further details. If you enjoyed this demo, be sure to like the video and to subscribe to the channel for more cool weekly demos of cool electric guitars like these, or cool acoustics, bass guitars, even all of that really cool stuff. Also be sure to like us and follow us on our socials, Instagram and Facebook. Links are also in the description. With all that being said, let's hear what these brand new Gibson double cutaway Les Paul specials sound like. Going to be playing it through this Fender Pro Reverb from the late 1970s. First going to be playing the clean tones, and then I'll be playing the dirty tones, which I'll be using a non-horsey clone. Going to be using the TV yellow one for the clean tones and then the black one for the dirty tones. So let's move on to that part and let's take this really cool double cutaway Les Paul specials for a spin. you.